Hi, it's Arielle Schwartz here. I want to share with you a little bit of a story. I just got back home from being out of town, and it was really powerful to travel after the pandemic, or in the midst of, I suppose. And I want to just share a little bit about something that happened for me in this past week, and it might be something that you can relate to as well. So, got on the airplane, have my mask, going kind of feeling a little cautious. It's stressful to travel. It's not the same as it used to be. I think it has a whole new element, and at the same time, it's really beautiful and creates a great sense of freedom to be able to get back out there. So it's so much. It's just so much to hold. And when I arrived, my body didn't quite get there. Like it just was it had a tough impact on me somatically. And I think part of it too was that I was seeing family members for the first time in 18 months, and that brought up a lot of feelings for me. Grief and gratitude, again, kind of like the whole range, really tracking the impact of this 18-month time on their bodies and psyches, and the kind of collective feeling of anxiety, which just was it was so big. And so when I say my body didn't quite arrive, the first night I had like a really intense food reaction with acid reflux that kept me up most of the night. And then the next day I had a pain in my left side. And then the day after that, both of my hips just bilaterally hurt, like a really, really intense pain in my sacrum. So I was definitely in some kind of inflammation response, and it hurt. Um, so I don't know, again, like you might relate to this one. And I am pretty good at caring for myself, and I get up in the morning and I do my meditation and I do my yoga. And gratefully, my mom joined me in both of those activities, and it was so special and so precious to share it together. And but most of what happened when I would get onto my mat is that I just wept. It was such a time to be with all of the emotions that this last year and a half had brought up, and to kind of have this touchstone of being with my mom. And I cried on day one and thought, well, okay, like, is that going to create some relief? And I cried on day two, and there was more on day three. And I think the process of just being with it and staying with the experience, it took about 4 days to feel like my body adapted and adjusted. And yeah, I kept saying it feels like something at a very deep foundational level, like especially when both of my SI joints got inflamed, and it was pain running bilaterally down both of my legs. And you all know I practice yoga every day. Like I can usually touch my toes, and it was just so intense. The beauty is that I reached out to support, and I received a session over Zoom, but basically to just hold space for me to be with the emotions that were rumbling down in my hips, and kind of wreaking havoc. And the feeling, the literal visceral feeling of sequencing in my belly, my diaphragm, my heart, my chest, my throat, my face, the emotions, and this need to just take over what was in my hips with my face and my hands and give it sound. But what was brilliant was that the pain stopped. So I share this story not because all pain is psychosomatic, but because some pain is. And when I have these moments of being able to get the support that I need to release that tension, and it really does feel, I mean, to me, I almost can feel the vagus nerve in action of where I go into defensive patterning and how I can access the breath and find that sense of connection and safety that lets something sequence and move and release. And when I have those experiences, it just feels like, oh yeah, this is why I do what I do. This is why I'm out here writing about this and teaching yoga and speaking about these experiences, because it is my biggest hope to say, listen to your body. It's communicating. There's intelligence here. When we can honor that intelligence and be in that conversation and curl toward the discomfort and explore how it wants to unfold, there is so much that we can accomplish, that we can unwind, and some of it on our own, and of course some of it when we're being held by another. And that's also my biggest prayer, is that everyone has that other, that there is somebody who can just hold space, not judge, not diagnose, not put a label on it, right? But to just offer presence, curiosity, compassion, and a willingness to go with you into those tight, dark places of grief or sadness or anger, right? Those places. So, nothing else. Thank you for witnessing me today and sharing this story. I hope that it touches you and that it brings some meaning to your day.